Good morning. I would like to welcome you to the regular public meeting of the Henry County Board of Commissioners for 9 a.m. Monday, March 15, 2010. At this time, I would like to call the meeting to order and ask for an acceptance of the agenda.
So moved, Madam Chair.
I have a motion by Mr. Stamey and a second by Mr. Jeffries. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Before we move into the agenda this morning, I want to make mention of something of importance to this community. And some of you may be aware of this already, but yesterday evening, Mr. Ted Strickland, who was the city manager of Stockbridge for many, many years, and a great member of this community, passed away. And I know that this is going to be a very difficult time, not only for the citizens and family members that knew him so well in the city of Stockbridge, and we want to continue to remember that family in our prayers. He not only was a city manager for many years, but he was also an educator before that and has always been a great public servant. And he is certainly going to be missed by this board and by many people as well. And I didn't know if any other commissioner would like to comment on that.
Well, I certainly will, Madam Chair. Ted Strickland has been very much a part of this community as far as you said, education, recreation, and also city administration. He's contributed to many 50-plus years. In fact, at the last meeting when he was recognized here with a proclamation, not the last meeting, but when he was last recognized here by proclamation, it showed just how much Ted had been involved throughout Henry County and not just Stockbridge. His education career started as a principal at Ola. So he has served throughout the county. He's been school superintendent and, of course, city manager at Stockbridge. And Ted will be sorely missed. There's no question about it. And a big part of Henry County left us last night.
Thank you, Mr. Holder. Moving on the agenda this morning, we're going to move on to social services, and we have a resolution requesting award of a bid for temporary in-home care services. Our presenter is Susan Craig of Senior Services and Angie Bailey, Social Services Division Director, Exhibit Number 1.
Madam Chair, before they make the presentation, I'd like to move that this bid be tabled until the next meeting.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Holder to table this bid until the next meeting. Is there a second?
Tomorrow night? I think it's going to be to the next day meeting, or the next.
If we could, please.
Okay. Second.
Can I have a second by Mr. Jeffries? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. The next item on the agenda is under Public Works, a resolution declaring an old plotter as surplus and to award a bid to purchase a new plotter. Our presenter is Terry McMickle, Public Works Division Director, Exhibit Number 2.
Good morning, Chairman, Board. We are in need of a plotter. Our old plotter just went down on us, so what we would like to do is trade in that HP 750 in on a new plotter. In order to do that, we would have to declare that one surplus. The board allow it to be traded in. There would allow us $500 as a trade-in on that. So we are requesting approval to declare the old plotter surplus, trade it in, purchase a new Canon Prograph plotter from Repo Products for $3,850.
Are there any questions or comments from board members pertaining to this item? If not, you have a resolution in your book, and I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Have a motion to approve by Mr. Stamey. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Holder. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is under Planning and Zoning Services, a resolution requesting authorization to seek financial assistance through the Hazardous Waste Trust Fund for the Henry County landfill. Our presenter is Mr. Michael Harris, Planning and Zoning Services Division Director, Exhibit Number 3. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, board members. On three previous occasions, Henry County has sought and received funding from the Hazardous Waste Trust Fund under the jurisdiction of the EPD. Over the past 3 years, Henry County has been working on a state-mandated corrective action plan for the West Asbury landfill, which is on the hazardous waste inventory. Staff believes that these efforts, which include the installation of groundwater monitoring wells installation of soil vapor extraction system, and the associated laboratory work are all items which will be eligible for reimbursement through the Hazardous Waste Trust Fund. Going back through our receivables, right now the total that we're seeking for reimbursement is $379,841.90. The application deadline is March 31st of this year. That's why I wanted to come before the board now to get authorization for this resolution. The Department of Natural Resources, which oversees the fund, they require that the local governing authority issue a resolution both authorizing the staff to seek the funds as well as to accept the funds. So that's why we're before you this morning.
Michael, do you know how this looks at the state level with all the budget cuts? Or is it still continuing to be fully funded, or do you know at this
It's
point?
taken some hits over the last few years. The last time we actually applied and received reimbursement was back in 2007, and I spoke to Donnie Hanna, who oversees the trust fund, earlier in the year, and he said right now they haven't heard final word on what the final numbers, the budget numbers for the fund will be, but he's just encouraging jurisdictions to go ahead and proceed with their applications. So, we're hopeful that it will continue to be funded. There's been a lot of push publicly for people to continue to fund this trust fund. So, we're hopeful that it will continue to. Last time in 2007, when we received reimbursements, what they did was they staggered the payments. We received over about $118,000, I believe it was, and they divvied it up into two separate payments. So, they may do it in a similar manner this time.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments on this item? If not, you have a resolution before you to seek financial assistance through the Hazardous Waste Trust Fund for Henry County Landfill, and I entertain a motion.
Move to approve, Madam Chair.
We have a motion by Mr. Holder. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Jeffries. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to finance, we have a resolution requesting the Henry County Legislative Delegation to introduce local legislation authorizing an increase of the hotel motel excise tax. Our presenter is Mike Bush, Finance Director, Exhibit Number 4.
Good morning, Chairman and Board members. What we would like to do here is to send this resolution up to the delegation, asking them to raise the hotel motel excise tax from 5% to 8%. The 3% increase in the lodging excise tax would provide a significant positive impact on Henry County by providing additional revenues for the purpose of enhancing and promoting travel and tourism in Henry County. If the delegation does agree to do this, at least half of the additional 3% or 1.5% must be spent on promoting tourism, conventions, and trade shows by a destination marketing organization designated by Henry County. That today is the Chamber of Commerce, the Visitors Bureau, I believe is how that currently works. And to show you, also, the resolution that you have in your books, we have amended that. And if you look on page 2 of that resolution, we've amended it to add the sentence under the third whereas, the second indention, where it says also capital costs, acquisition costs, and maintenance expenses related to improving major thoroughfares leading to such attractions and facilities. That's our interchange, exit 218, 216, things like that. And this next bullet point, it says parks, trails, museums, theme parks, and veteran memorials. Veteran memorials was the addition there as well. So the resolution that you have in your books has been updated to this resolution, and then I'll show you what that means in dollars and cents to us. The page 1 there shows the amount of total rents for the year from January 1, 2009 through 12/31/2009, and the 5% collection that we collected totaled $359,297.23. If we were able to go up to the 8% collection, that would total $574,875.57, an increase of $215,578.34. So it is a sizable increase to help promote tourism even more than we currently do in Henry County.
Are there any questions or comments pertaining to this item?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Basler?
The question I've got is, compared to surrounding counties in the ARC system, what are we
I can answer that.
You want, okay.
In the ARC counties, it brings us in line with those other counties, with the exception of DeKalb, which has about a 12% excise tax. I guess they were able to get additional funds allocated through their local delegation. Spalding County is currently at 3%, but they're outside the ARC 10-county region. Clayton is at 8%. I believe Fulton County is 8%. It brings us in line with where they're at. Currently, the city of Locust Grove is at 7% with the ability to go to 8%, so we're below the city of Locust Grove. And so that was one of the reasons why we wanted to take a look at this. If y'all have noticed, as you drive along I-75, the state is no longer maintaining our interchanges. And as tourists travel through Henry County with the 7 interchanges that we have, it's likely that if they were more attractive and clean-looking, that they would stop more, eat in restaurants, shop, and really want to stay here. And so the only way that we can really find money to clean those interchanges up is looking at the tourism tax is what it is. And doesn't affect our citizens, but it picks up the tourism dollars as they pass through our county.
So basically, this is going to put us in line with virtually everyone else, and as well as being able to take this funds and keep up the roadsides. Okay.
Even the Veterans Wall of Honor under this is eligible for use of these funds to help maintain it as well, because it is a tourist attraction within the county.
We also, with this new law that has been passed allowing us to go from 5% up to this 8%, it has also required us to, the Chamber has to come in and tell you exactly what they plan to spend their portion of the money on. In the past, we didn't have to determine what ours was to be spent on, but we do now. It is a requirement that we say of the 50% of these collections that we got, what is our promotional things that we're going to do with it. So this, for example, that cutting the grass in the medians is one that would be a large portion of what ours would go to.
This should allow the Chamber, too, if we designate them as the agency, marketing agency for the county, that can change at any time. But this should allow them to really rebrand Henry County. We need to upgrade our image or change our image or rework our image a little bit, and this will give them the additional funds that whatever agency handles that, the additional funds to be able to do that.
Correct.
Mr. Holder, did you have a question?
I have two. First, Mike, excuse me. Who is responsible, or what agency is responsible for auditing these numbers to know that that is what the actual rents or sales from those motels were? Is this off of a sales tax report, or how is it done?
This is a calculation that the tax commissioner, as the tax collector, he collects these funds from the hotels, and we have the ability to go in and audit their books. And I have not seen an audit recently of where we've gone in and audited their books. But there are 7 hotels that are currently in unincorporated Henry County that we receive funds from, and we are receiving funds on a monthly basis from each and every one of those. And we do have the ability to go out there and do an audit. We have not. I guess the tax commissioner has not chosen to do so in the past few years. But it is, up to him to go out and do those audits. We have to turn in a report to the state of Georgia, the DCA report. It's a DCA report that basically shows the monies collected, 100% of the monies collected, where those monies went, how those monies were spent at the end of the year. And we have to get with the Visiting Bureau and help them, because they have money coming in from all the cities and from us, so we have to help them break out their monies and create a report to the state. So it is at least viewed by the state, and if you go and look back at the numbers on a yearly basis, they don't vary much at all as far as collections go. So I think that might be one of the reasons why we haven't gone and looked at it any deeper at this point.
Okay. And these 7 are the only ones that exist currently in the unincorporated area of Henry County?
That is correct.
In the past, and I probably should not bring this question up because I don't really have the answer to it. But many years ago, the Chamber came to us with a delegation of innkeepers very upset about how the chamber was spending their money. And there was a move on their greatest concern, their being the innkeeper's greatest concern, was lighting of the interchanges. I think all of the interchanges now are lighted. And I'm asking this as a question because I don't have the answer, and I don't think you have the answer. Rick may have the answer. But I know when the interchange was lighted at 212 at Locust Grove, I believe the city still has to pay that light bill, do they not?
They do pay the light bill.
And-
Georgia Power contract, they pay for the materials in the lake.
Right. And my question is, and I would like to have someone check into this further. If the other interchanges are being paid for by the heads and beds tax or the hotel motel tax, I don't know why Locust Grove would be treated any differently.
Commissioner, I might be able to help you on that.
Okay?
Currently, we are paying for 2 interchanges, for the lights on 2 interchanges, the power bills. Locust Grove's paying one, and I believe Michael at Stockbridge is doing Eagles Landing, and we're doing 2.
Raises even more concern I have then as to why there's an inconsistency in the way they're being funded. Because the installation is a one-time charge, but that power bill each month is probably significant. How much is it, Mike? Do you know?
It's about, seems like to me it's about $500 per interchange.
Okay. $6,000 a year per interchange. I mean, that's not great money, but when we're in a crunch like we are, we need to find those little things to be so that they can become significant in our budget. I would appreciate it if someone would look into that and explore the reason as to why there's inconsistency. There may be a perfect reason for it, but I think we need an answer.
Yes, sir. We'll look into it.
Do you have anything further, Mr. Holder? Does anyone else have a question or comment? All right, if not, you have a resolution before you requesting the Henry County delegation introduce local legislation before the 2010 General Assembly authorizing Henry County to increase the hotel motel excise tax from 5% to 8%, and I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Mr. Holder. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Jeffries. All in favor? The motion carries 4-0. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is under Parks and Recreation, a resolution requesting authorization of a lease for 7 Toro Z mowers and 2 Toro Workmen. Presenter is Mr. Tim Coley, Director of Parks and Recreation, Exhibit Number 5. Good morning.
Good morning. We currently our maintenance department takes care of all the parks, and they also take care of all the county buildings. And in the past, when we had lawnmowers, we would put them into surplus. We really weren't getting any money for them, and they had no value left. And 4 years ago, we went to a lease program with Toro, the commercial mowers, where we run them. We had the Toro Protection Plus program, where they would come out on site and fix them if they broke down. If they had to take them to fix them, they would bring us a loaner back to use until they would bring ours back. And that lease has expired, and we do have the money in the budget, and this lease is actually smaller in value in monthly payment than what we had in the last budgets, and we just need to renew because we're getting upon April and we need to start cutting grass soon.
Are there any questions or comments from board members on this item?
Question that I would have, Madam Chair. Tim, is Toro the only company that offers the lease program?
They're the one, no, sir. Well, this actually doesn't go through Toro. It goes through, it's Capital, is it Capital GE Capital?
GE Capital is the one we used last time for the Parks Association.
Yeah.
That's the funding source, but my point is this a proposal, was it offered to anybody other than Toro? Does any company other than Toro offer that type program?
No, not the Protection Plus, and this is on state contract.
I understand, but is there not another vendor on the state contract other than Toro?
Not that offers a Protection Plus.
Okay.
I think the Exmark's on state contract, but they don't have the Protection Plus or the warranty. You pay that if something breaks down after the warranty's over. You pay that warranty. With the Toro, you don't. You have it for the whole 4 years.
Any other questions or comments?
I have a comment.
Mr. Stamey?
Tim, do we have a price on this?
I have a monthly.
Can you put that on the screen for us, please?
$1,558.75.
What was we paying for the ones we're turning in?
$1,880.
So it's gone down a little bit?
It's gone down a couple hundred.
Plus, we're picking up 2 additional mowers, right?
We're picking up 2 workmen.
Okay.
Any other questions?
What we did was the first Toros we bought many years ago didn't have the horsepower to pull the bigger mowers, the 72-inch mowers. We went to a diesel engine and a bigger engine, and with the new technology you have now, we went back to a gas engine and a little bit less horsepower, so it saved us money. But we've driven them, we've tested them, and we're getting the same cut. We feel they changed the drive and the spindle in it. Mr. Odie, you can probably tell more about that. But the lesser horsepower with the new technology gives us the same cut.
Any other questions?
Tim, I got a question. How many lawnmowers do we have total over there?
Talking about push mowers, walk behinds, everything.
The whole deal.
Probably, if you add these, probably 16 or 17.
I know y'all cut a lot of grass.
Yes, we cut 23 parks and 37 county buildings, senior centers, libraries, administration building, jail.
If I understand this right, too, I mean, if they come out to fix one and they can't fix it, they've got one that you can use until
If they have to take it off site to take it back and repair it, they'll bring us back. They're in Atlanta, but they'll bring us back a loaner, and we have that until they bring ours back.
Any other questions or comments? If not, there's a resolution before you authorizing the lease of 7 Toro Z mowers and 2 Toro Workmen for use by Parks and Recreation Department, and I will entertain a motion. Have a motion to approve by Mr. Jeffries. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Stamey. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Mr. County Manager, any comments for public session?
No, ma'am.
Ms. County Attorney?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone sign up for public comment? The upcoming meetings and events, tomorrow, March 16th at 6:30 p.m., we have a regular board meeting. Monday, April 5th at 9 a.m., it is a workshop meeting, and Tuesday, April 6th at 9 a.m., a regular meeting. Monday, April 19th at 9 a.m., and Tuesday, April 20th at 6:30 p.m. These are both regular board meetings. At this time, I do need a motion to convene into executive session for the purpose of potential pending litigation, personnel matters, and land acquisition.
So moved.
Have a motion by Mr. Stamey and a second by Mr. Basler. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. I need a motion to reconvene into public session.
So moved, Madam Chair.
I have a motion by Mr. Holder and a second by Mr. Stamey. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. At this time, I need a motion for an approval of an affidavit and resolution pertaining to executive session.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Stamey. Second by Mr. Jeffries. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. At this time, I believe, Mr. Holder, we need to amend the agenda.
I do, Madam Chair. Out of public necessity and the good of the citizens, I make a motion to amend the agenda and to approve an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Locust Grove for property located as an intergovernmental agreement at 3698 Highway 42 in Locust Grove.
We have a motion by Mr. Holder. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Stamey. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Is there any further business to come before this board? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Jeffries. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Bowser. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. We stand adjourned.